Hello, friends. Welcome back. So, this is part three of our new planner setup series. So, in this part, we're just going to go over my year and I'm going to give you my tips and tricks for making sure that what I plan through the year has the best possible chance of helping. But if you're new to my style of planning, I don't plan things like they're meant to be set in concrete. A plan is just a guideline. It is meant to give you something to aim for, to set up your targets, and to help you reach toward your targets while still giving you flexibility to change and evolve as life usually forces a change in your goals. So, anyway, here's the start of the My Year section. As you get started here in My Year, these pages are organized to kind of help you get an idea of, and I know it looks similar to the social media, but that's really for developing your content strategy for the year. For this, I want you to focus on where your special dates, your deadlines, and your projects and vacations or kids' school breaks or things like that, whatever you have going on for you. This helps you map things out and see what you're going to do each month. But the first thing we got to do is solidify your commitment after all the work you've done in the previous sections. This is where you get to finalize your top 3 goals for 2023. All that previous work, I hope, helped you get super clear on exactly what your goals or objectives or targets, however you want to say it, what they are for 2023. So anyway, once you have those in there, think about where they fall. If you need to, go back to page 9, look through your My Vision section and refer to that to ensure that you're setting your target completion dates or milestone dates in your year ahead section. So you have each month laid out. If you have the Ultimate Authorship Planner, of course, you won't see dates. You'll just see month 1 through 12. But I want you to go ahead and write your months in there so that you can plan out very carefully and with deliberation and intention how your year should go. Now, of course, this sounds like an ideal scenario, but like I said, stay flexible. Think of your plan as a guideline so that you can visualize and see where you need to put different projects. As you're writing things out, if you find you have a deadline overlapping with a vacation, you may want to reconsider where you set your deadline or set your vacation, if it's possible to move those things. Or you have to work ahead to make sure that everything is ready. So either way, use that section for that. And once you have that done, you have your 90-day goals here. So this is setting up that first quarter, January, February, March, or months 1 through 3, setting up your goals, your target completion date, and steps to achievement for each goal. So if you know that you have to finish your first round of edits by the end of January and second round by the end of February, and then you get to polish it to publish by March 31st, then you have your dates in here. And these can be fuzzy, but the whole idea is so that you can take all of these dates and of course all of your dates in here, and I want you to go forward through January, February, March, whatever, months 1 through 12. I want you to take those dates and deadlines that you put in here and make sure you're transferring them forward into their appropriate months. So if you have stuff marked down for June, if you have a publishing date or a deadline or a release day, make sure that you're putting that ahead. And of course, I hope that if you're releasing on June 31st, you're reverse engineering your launch and going back into your social media calendar and reverse engineering your content plan for that launch. Either way, the whole point is that you take all these dates from this overview of the year and you put them forward into your calendars here. I would do monthly. This is where I put all my dates once I get through the My Year section, once I get through all this front matter, I go ahead and transfer all my dates into each month's overview. That way, when I am doing my monthly planning, I can just take these dates, I either reaffirm them or I erase them and move them around. And then I put those, forward. I forward these into my week once I'm doing that month's planning. So go ahead and get that done. Pause if you need to so that you can transfer those dates ahead after you've completed it. And then we'll go into our first monthly overview, our monthly planning and review. So for example, for month 1 or January 2023, you're going to start right off with recording your achievements, thinking about what goals you achieved, doing your monthly reflection. What happened last month that you're most proud of? What are you most grateful for? What challenges did you learn or did you experience, and what are you going to carry forward? What lessons will you carry forward from those challenges? So you have a little bit of space here for metrics as well, although I hope you are keeping your metrics partly in the income and expenses section, but also digitally in your records. Hopefully you're keeping really good records. If you're not, let me know if you need a system for that. I can totally make one. So anyway, but once you have once you've completed your monthly reflection, that's supposed to basically prime the pump to think about what worked, what didn't work, and let you set up goals and priorities that will work. So set your primary focus for the month. It could be writing, editing, sales, whatever it is, and then your top 3 goals. If you need help for this month, go back to your goal map on page 7 so you know what you're supposed to be working on this year, and align your goals throughout the year, and align your goals with that greater, larger vision for the year. I love this question. What can I do this month that will make me feel most accomplished? This is all about ensuring that you are clear on what's important, what's most meaningful to making you progress, and what is maybe just hamster wheel stuff like content creation and stuff like that. So anyway, this is all pretty easy stuff here. I hope that when you get to setting this up, you see the help in this. Like if you want to grow your subscriber list a couple months ahead of a release, hopefully you have a plan in here, or you can understand, okay, this month I need to do some list building for subscribers, and okay, here's what I need to do on which dates. For me, I put in the task, and then I put I try to put it in order, but I'll put a task of set up a new reader magnet I'll just put 8 for the 8th of January. Set up a new reader magnet, create reader magnet content for social media by the 12th. I'll just put a 12 here and target completion date. But either way, once I have these tasks, I do just like I did with the other stuff, and I put it forward in my big overview calendar so that I know if on the 12th I need to have that social content done to promote my new reader magnet and get people to sign up to my list, I have it there and I remember when I'm putting it forward. So anyway, so set up your goals and priorities, your tasks and target completion dates. Think this as a new section that is meant to help you think about what you need to do to prepare for future releases, whether they're this month or next month or sometime in the future. There's always stuff that we can be doing ahead of time to prepare for our impending releases and get ahead of the game and not throw spaghetti at the wall at the last minute. So my sales, I actually reduced this to 5 spots because I think you can focus. If you want to do a series here instead of a title, you can do that. For me, I'll just put thriller series or STS for Small Town Secrets. And then I'll put whether it's sales or downloads and whatever that target is. Or maybe I have a sales target here and a downloads for a free book promo. And I also have a page reads goal. Then I can put the same title 3 times if I want and delineate that goal. Or I will do okay, I want sales, downloads, and page reads for Small Town Secrets. So I'll do I can't type in here. Unfortunately, I'll do 9, for an example, 9/10/ 11 page reads, 9 sales, 10 downloads, 11 page reads. But I'll just use a slash. The great thing about this is that you have the space and freedom to do it however you feel it's going to work best for you. You can either fill this up, or you can just put 1 here, or you can smash things together for a whole series, or you can go book by book. Either way, make it work for you. The whole point is that you develop an idea of your sales targets for the coming month so that you can come up with your promotion plan. How are you going to promote it? How are you going to get that sales or download or page reads goal? What platform will you be using to promote it? Will it be social media? Will it be a newsletter feature? Will it be, whatever it is? Figure out what your platform you're using, what the ad focus is going to be, if it's going to be the freebie to get people to sign up to your newsletter, your reader magnet, or if it's going to be, the purpose of the promotion is direct sales to get that sales target. Whatever it is that you're doing, get crystal clear on it in this section and then set your budget for it. I put 3 spots here. I would hope that you would focus on your 3 most important things here. Now, if you have a very intense promotion plan where you have multiple titles or multiple series being promoted all at the same time, this is probably not complex enough for you. So just let me know if you need a little something extra for that, and I can create a printable. Anyway, which techniques will you use to promote your work this month? Add your audience, platform, and marketing research notes here. It's always good to take notes while you're setting up ads or while you're reviewing how your past ads have performed. So anyway, use that as you will. I hope you make full use of it. Here's your blog and podcast or collaboration, or blog or podcast and collaboration planning. Now, I put this in one because not everybody uses all of these. I personally struggle to blog. It's not my favorite thing, unless for some reason, unless I'm doing it for other people. But I am, I might start a podcast or whatever it is. I know a lot of authors are going into podcasting. So what is your podcasting or blog or YouTube, content plan going to look like? What is that forward-facing content plan? What are you going to do to make sure, you have it ahead of time and you're not figuring out the last minute, 5 minutes before you're supposed to start recording the new episode or writing the new blog post, what you're going to do. So I love having this. Go back to your blog topic brainstorming on page 63. Which if you have the digital planner, I have it hyperlinked, but select a few from that list. So, and think about partner authors you can interview. Think about people in your genre or subgenre that you can collaborate with. In Sprints and Spirits, we have a very, it's not massive, but we do have a pretty robust group of authors who are focused on writing and many who are also marketing and looking for opportunities to collaborate. So feel free to join us there. Also, this is my favorite part that I added after initially creating the planner. I added the newsletter plan. So I set up the date I intend to send out the newsletter. I figure out my main topic, and then I do my subtopics. And at the end of the month, I'll go back here and I'll set my, record my open rate and record my click-through rate. But what I love about this is if I get this filled out with however many newsletters I'm going to do that month, I can actually go and set up those newsletters ahead of time, at least a skeleton of what that newsletter is supposed to be. And then it's a lot easier to get it sent out, and it feels a lot less overwhelming than saying each week, oh, I have to start from scratch and create a newsletter, or whatever you do. It feels like half the work is already done when you create kind of placeholders and set up your newsletter ahead of time. That's my tactic and strategy, but at the very least, you can make a plan for your newsletter and not feel so lost in the sauce. For my social media plan, I give you examples here of different content buckets you can use for different days. But you can write in your own content buckets. Just scratch this out. Or if you're posting multiple times a day, you can write in here. But I gave you plenty of space in these updates to write your own content keywords here. All right, so here we get to the overview. It's one of my favorite spots when I'm doing my monthly planning, because I can set out what is my weekly focus, and these kind of goal spots or objective spots, a lot of people see them as their weekly goals, which is perfect. But I think of goals and targets interchangeably. So what I do here is this overview helps me visualize how I'm going to achieve those top 3 monthly goals. and what I'm doing each week to make sure that happens. And then I can sketch things out. I put school dates in here when the kids have break from school, or when I was still taking my master's degree, I would put my assignments in here because I could forward fill these slots from my syllabus. And I could go in and look at my due dates for everything. So I would actually forward fill things. I forward fill things from whether it's my kids' stuff that I have going on. As soon as I know about it, I put it in my overview. And then once this overview is complete and I have everything in there I could possibly foresee, because we can't foresee things like medical issues or accidents or anything like that. But what I do is once I have this filled out, I take each date, I go each week and I fill in all those appointments, all those top priorities. Like if I have a deadline at the end of the week, I make sure that my top priority each day is doing one thing to support reaching that deadline. And so anyway, go ahead and fill this, forward fill each week with your important dates and deadlines and reminders, things like that. Not just deadlines, appointments. I put all my medical appointments for myself and my kids in these things because it's my whole life planner for me as an author. But I can't exist as an author without the rest of my life included. So that's why it's a whole life planner for authors. Anyway, so once you have it forward filled, I wanted to share a little something about why I've done it this way, where I don't have times here. Okay, I don't have any time slots. There's no numbers here because, first of all, whether it's half-hour slots or hour slots, I hate a 24-hour planner. I hate them because it's too much. All right, and then with other planners that list the date or time or the times here in these slots, they were always the wrong hours, hours that didn't work for me. So what I found that was best, because all writers have different times, some write in the morning, many write at night, some people have to stay flexible about when they write. So what I do is I write my core hours next to or just on the left side of this box. I like on the outside of the line here. On just between these lines over here and the box. But I write, like, I start at 8 because that's my core hours. My kids get on the bus at 7:45, and then 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, and I do that all the way from my core hours. And so I'll end up at like 4 p.m. and then my 4 p.m. hour block is the last one. And then I take a straight edge and I darken this line here all the way across. And underneath of it, in these blocks right here, I actually write my tasks for the day. I'll either do a checkbox or I'll use an asterisk for things that are happening outside of those core hours that I need to remember. Like on Mondays, I always have a mastermind call in the evenings. So I'll write that with a little asterisk under the dark line that I add with a straight edge that indicates the end of my core working hours. So working/writing. So anyway, but I will write my minimum task list under here with like little mini check boxes. Sometimes I put 2 lines in a box because they're pretty thick boxes. So either whatever works for you, but I do make it so that I have a task list or I have reminders or, buy gifts for mom's birthday. I'll have that. I just had that a couple weeks ago. And I'll make sure I have that under my core working hours so I have extra space for notes and reminders for each day. But the nice thing is you can use this however you want. So if I have, sometimes I have weeks where I'll do like a 5 a.m. start for my core working hours. And then I'll kind of split things up for my working hours and I'll put, gym all the way across. I'll just write it in the first Monday block, and then I will draw a line all the way through, not through the middle, but I'll draw the same. I use the colored friction pens, so I'll draw I'll write gym in pink because it's self-care, and I will draw a line all the way through for all the days that I am going to the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning. And that helps me do that. Or if I say, okay, for 8 a.m. to 11 a.m., it's just writing, then I can I'll use write. I'll just write it right across here diagonally, whatever works. or I can write it here, right, in one little block, and then I make an arrow down to the end of that time block. Whatever works. You can either schedule really finely, where you're putting in every little thing that you're doing during those core hours, or you can just put your appointments, and this is usually what I do. I put my appointments and the things that I need to do, that I have deadlines, or the calls that I have to do, or sprints that I host on Wednesdays at noon, noon Eastern. And then I put the top priority. This is the most important thing I do each week, is I set my top priority for each day. And so that way I know outside of my deadlines, this is the one most important thing that I have to get done that day to move the needle forward and achieve my goals. So I hope this helps. Quarter one, we can do this real quick, where at the end of every quarter, so January, February, March, or months 1 through 3, and so on and so forth, you'll have this reflect and resolve here. So you'll get a chance to go over your successes, your achievements, every awesome thing you've done, big and small, over the last 90 days, because it's really important to congratulate yourself for what you've done well and recognize your own achievements. So you're recognizing what you have accomplished. Other times we just will beat ourselves up for all the things we didn't do and not recognize all the things that we have accomplished. Anyway, so it's a little bit like the monthly reflection, but on a bigger scale. Think about your greatest challenges or obstacles over the past 90 days. The things that stick with you are the things that are really important to critique and understand and explore, and think about how you handled them and you got through them. So any goals that you set in the beginning of the year on these pages that have evolved, what can you do differently and better over the next 90 days to achieve your most meaningful goals? I think this is really important, because a lot of times we just say we'll do better without really coming up with the details of how we're going to make that happen. What are we going to change about ourselves, or our schedules, or our routines, or whatever we have to, in order to be better, to have better outcomes. I also have included, as part of the updates, a recommended administrative task and reminder checklist here, so that you can get a quarterly kind of a very business oriented checklist here to help you stay up to date on recording your income and expenses, and to, doing some of the things that will help you get ahead if you are looking to grow beyond just your writing. When you're doing your quarterly review, you'll also have an entire page dedicated to your writing, and then you end it with listing your top goals for the next 90 days and how they support your previously stated 2023 goals and vision. And if they don't, because your goals and vision have evolved for the year, that's okay to scratch that out if you have to. Just if your goals evolve, think about how they support your evolved goals, not necessarily the ones you set if they've changed. Now, sales and visibility, it's really important quarterly to come up with a plan and kind of a bird's eye view of what you're going to do to grow your sales, increase your readership, increase your warm and very warm audiences, so that you can increase your sales. But if you know what you want to do and you start exploring ideas for increasing these things, then you know what you might need to learn in order to make that happen. Finally, I give you some blocks to fill with colored pencils or markers or stickers, and you can fill in the numbers. So words written, however many per block that you want to, pages edited. So I give you a couple different options here to make it fun. I just fill my whole planner with stickers. I love it. And then finally, you finish off your quarterly reflected resolve with a 90-day goal setting. Right here, just like we did in the beginning, you set your first goal, the total target completion date, and all the steps you need to achieve and when you need to achieve them in order to fully achieve that goal. At the end of the year, you will have your 2023 or 12-month reflection if you have the Ultimate Authorship Planner. But if you have the dated, it'll say My 2023 Reflection, and it's really delving into what worked, what didn't, what you're most proud of, what projects or goals or targets you achieved and accomplished, and what things had to change or evolve through the year. Not beating yourself up, but taking a very objective, very business-like view of what happened in your writing business throughout the year. You're also looking at your visibility over the year, and I give you references so you can keep circling back, see where you started. As long as you're filling this out, you can see where you started, and you can look at your new total, and you can calculate your total growth through the year and determine whether or not it met your goals. Your sales, analyze your sales reports for 2023 or for the past 12 months. This is definitely something new to these new planners. This is part of the update, but I gave you an example here of, setting up either a series or a title. A lot of people have different series or different titles. Whatever you have, I try to give enough spaces here so that you could say it's, this series was X percentage of my sales and this other series was whatever share of total royalties is that adds up to 100 for your titles, whether it's book by book or series by series. I think it's really important to know that so that you can identify your best sellers and lean into that in the next year. So more on that in another module if you guys want, but you should definitely understand what is selling best. So again, you can lean into it. Anyway, understanding how you feel about your sales now compared to the previous year is actually really important. Thinking about all these questions are meant to help you explore not just the numbers, but hopefully give you an objective lens with which to view those numbers through, while also bringing in some of your own personal feelings in a very constructive way. I don't want you to focus on the way you feel about things just for the sake of it, but for the sake of harnessing either a positive energy or a determination to do better next year. Harness that energy so that it can carry you into making positive changes. Anyway, marketing, this review of your marketing, I really wanted you to focus on the things that you remember through the year that had a great impact. I gave you 20 spots so you could rank them best to worst for as far as how much impact you believe they had on them. I made these boxes a little bit bigger so you could write easily 2 lines in here if you want to. If you have any feedback on any of these pages, just let me know, but I really hope you enjoy this. These are new to the updates as well. And give yourself kind of a journaling space here to reflect on what the year meant to you. And as the last page to that yearly reflection, just a fun little follow-up to the quarterlies, you get to mark with color or with stickers or whatever way you want, kind of marking in how many total words written, pages edited, etc., whatever you like to track, and making a really fun, colorful page with it here. Here's your My Musing section, and in this section, this is just extra space for your notes. I typically will write out promotion plans and ideas, things I'd like to do, or brain dumps, or when I fill up my story ideas section, which is inevitable for me. But when I fill all this stuff in, when I fill all those front sections in, then I come back here and I use this extra space to write down all my ideas and to make sure that I'm having a space that I can easily return to make notes and explore my thoughts and sketch out ideas for growing my writing and my fiction and my writing business throughout the year. So I hope you enjoyed this section as much as I do. That is the gist of it. Please let me know if you need any more help. Again, I would really focus on forward filling all of your dates, your goals, your outline of your plans. Use those friction pens because it just makes it so much easier to keep your plans flexible, to not feel like they're cemented in, when you can go forward into each month and say, oh, this thing from my yearly vision has changed. Let me just erase it and move it, or change it entirely if you have to. But that gives you that freedom to use the plan as it's meant to be, which is a guideline, a target to aim at, not a pass or fail test in your life, okay? This is all meant to help you move forward, to grow personally, professionally, to grow your writing, your fiction craft, as well as your fiction business or nonfiction if you're a nonfiction author. But I want to see you grow, and I want this to be your favorite tool for achieving your growth. So let me know if you have any questions, any comments, and if you'd like to submit a quote for next year's edition, look for the form below this video.